Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stabhidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Didati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Parakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Rishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. Translation and commentary is Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki. So I believe it's chapter 17, text number 16. Is that correct? Let's see. It's about austerity. Yes, it's 16. Yeah. Please repeat. Mana prasadaha somyatvam monam adma vinigraha Bhava Samsvadir Ityetad Tapo Manasam Uchate Manaprasada Saumyatvam Monamatma Vinigraha Bhava Samsvadir Ityetad Tapo manasam uchyate Mana prasada saumyatvam Monam atma vinigraha Bhava samsudir iti etat Tapo manasam uchyate Mana prasada saumyatvam Monamatma vinigraha Bhava samsudir iti etad Tapo manasam uchyate. Okay. Tamo manasa uchyate. Manasasada somyaktvam Monamatma vinigraha Bhava samsura iti etad Tapo manasa uchyate. Please repeat. Mana prasadaha, satisfaction of the mind. Somyatvam, being without being without duplicity towards others. Monam, gravity. Atma, of the self. Vinigraha, control. Bhava, of one's nature. Samsudi, purification. Iti, thus. Itad, this. Tapaha, austerity. Manasam, of the mind. Uchyate, is said to be. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. Please repeat. And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. Purport Srila Prabhupada. To make the mind austere is to detach it from sense gratification. It should be so trained that it can be always thinking of doing good for others. The best training for the mind is gravity in thought. One should not deviate from Krishna consciousness and must always avoid sense gratification. To purify one's nature is to become Krishna conscious. Satisfaction of the mind can be obtained only by taking the mind away from thoughts of sense enjoyment. The more we think of sense enjoyment, the more the mind becomes dissatisfied. In the present age, we unnecessarily engage the mind in so many different ways for sense gratification. And so there is no possibility of the mind's becoming satisfied. The best course is to divert the mind to Vedic literature, which is full of satisfying stories, as in the Puranas and the Mahabharata. One can take advantage of this knowledge and thus become purified. The mind should be devoid of duplicity, and one should think of the welfare of all. Silence means that one is always thinking of self-realization. The person in Krishna consciousness observes perfect silence in this sense. Control of the mind means detaching the mind from sense enjoyment. Control of the mind means one should be straightforward in his dealings and thereby purify his existence. All these qualities together constitute austerity in mental activities. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshoram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangam Laitegram Yad Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Mana Prasada Somyatvam Monam Atma Vinigraha Bhava Samsuri Iti Etad Tapo Manasa Uchyate. And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's active existence are the austerities of the mind. So, this is tapas. There's 3 types of tapasya enunciated in this section. They start with the body, then the speech, and today's one is the mind. So we'll just review them. Austerity of the body consist in worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and superiors like the father and mother, and cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. So you can see there's a division there. The first austerity is to worship superior personalities. The Supreme Lord, Brahmanas, spiritual master, superiors like the father and mother. And then the bodily. So it's very interesting. It's not just a matter of cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence, but it also, austerity of the body is to worship who? Supreme Lord, Brahmanas, spiritual master, and superiors like the father and mother. So Brahmanas, what is the Vedic definition of Brahmana? Yes. So it's not janma karma vibhagasha, it's guna karma vibhagasha. So Brahmana, say again? Yes, iti Brahmana. Brahmana janati iti Brahmana. Somebody who knows Brahman, he is a Brahmana. So that's a very important point, that the Brahmana is meant to be. Now there may be people born in caste Brahmana families that do come to that platform. We shouldn't exclude that possibility. But if somebody says, I'm a Brahmana by birth, this has corrupted the whole Varnashram system. Even it says, there's quoted by Bhakti-Vinod Thakur, that in Kali Yuga, Rakshasas will take birth in the Brahmana families to corrupt the Vedic system. So we don't want to focus on that unfortunate aspect, but these are matters of quality. So, and then there are four austerities of the body itself. What are they? Cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. Yes. So it's good to commit these things to memory, right? And there's a good way to remember it. Worship the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, superiors like mother and father. So worship doesn't mean that's also, sometimes that's something they throw at the followers of the Vedic path. Oh, you're worshipping the cow. You think that the cow is God. This is, of course, prejudicial argument. It's deliberately meant to throw mud. No, but worship means giving respect and homage. Right? The mother and father, the mother bears us in the womb for 9 months. She feeds us from her own very body. The father protects us, brings us up. So they are worthy of the greatest homage. What to speak of the spiritual master and those that are realized in transcendence, the actual Brahmanas. And of course, the Supreme Lord himself. So those four are cleanliness, simplicity. See, look, you're all great devotees. Memory sharp as a pin. So let's have a look. Now the austerities of speech. Yes, there's 5 of those. Austerity of speech consists of speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, non-agitating to others, and reciting the Vedas. So 5 things there, right? Truthful, pleasing, beneficial, not agitating, and reciting the Vedas. So, and today, the mind. Of course, the mind is the root of all the activities. There are 3 psychic movements in the mind. They are supervised by Vasudeva Shankarshan Adiruddha, Prajumna Adiruddha, the Chaturvyuha. So, What are the austerities of the mind? Satisfaction. Prabhupada explains that one should satisfy the mind. The best course is to devote the mind to the Vedic literature full of satisfying stories. The Puranas, Mahabharata. Right? It doesn't matter how many times we have heard the story of Prahlad Maharaj, it's still very satisfying, and we still get some nectar from it. But you try and read the newspaper for a week, you'll throw it in the bin, right? Even in one day you'll get a headache. So, satisfaction. And there's even pop songs like, I can't get no, anyway. So you can't get any satisfaction in material things. Material, why? Because we are spirit soul, right? So we get some ephemeral titillation of the mind by reading some mundane novel, but it's not satisfying the Atma, as Krishna says, Atma Vinigraha. So that is, right? Simplicity. Now it's very interesting in the word for word there. Did you get it? Simplicity, somyatvam, being without duplicity toward others. So that's very interesting. Simplicity means not to be a diplomat. You can be tactful, of course, and also Krishna does say, of secret things I am silence. So you can consider that in terms of speech also, non-agitating, pleasing. If you can't say something pleasing, or it might be dangerously agitating, then it's better to be silent. As they say in common usage, silence is golden. Yes. So words are an instrument. So just like you don't want to beat somebody with a stick, you don't want to beat people with words, especially the Vaishnavas. Because the main thing is non-agitating. We don't want to push people into the modes of material nature. We don't want to upset our god brothers and god sisters and push them into the modes and make them forget Krishna. The main thing is that the mind can remember transcendence when it's peaceful. But if is agitated by personal insult and diplomacy and so on, this is not good. So those on the transcendental path here, Krishna is explaining, they should be somyatam. And Prabhupada, the word for word makes it without duplicity. One should be straightforward, but not agitating. And it should be beneficial. So one can be tactful, but one shouldn't be trying to manipulate others. Especially the Vaishnavas, those that are purified in mind and consciousness, can quickly pick up this person's, as they say in modern parlance, he's laying a trip on me. All right? So we don't want to lay and be diplomatic. We want to be simple and straightforward, to the point. But at the same time, we don't want to agitate or offend others. So in that case, one may be tactful or one may be silent. And of course, the best thing is to be a good example, is it not? That is the best way. Actually, on this point, I remembered it. I meant to say it in my offering to Prabhupada on the Vyas Puja Day, and that is that Prabhupada was once asked, what is the sign, who is your disciple? So somebody may say, oh, he knows all the slokas, he's read Bhagavatam 10 times, he's very austere, he has mystic power. No. Prabhupada said, he'll be a perfect gentleman. So that's something to aspire to. Just like Chanaka Pandit says, the fruit of knowledge means when a tree is laden with fruit, the branches hang down. Meaning humility is the sign of knowledge. If one is absorbing knowledge and becoming proud, then that knowledge and that person is irritating. Even if somebody is not very learned or talented or even good looking or whatever, but if they're very gentle and modest and good behaving, everybody will like that person. But if somebody is puffed up, oh, I know this, I'm in this position, then he may think that world, in his own little world, but the Vaishnavas can see. So it's very important not to be simple, straightforward. Then Monam. They're very nice that, of course. Monam, we know Muni. Prabhupada, one lecture I remember hearing, Prabhupada says sometimes the disciple is so talkative that the spiritual master gives him Maunvrat. Don't speak at all. Silence of secret things I have silenced. So that will make the disciple more internalized. He'll be able to watch his own mind instead of just, what do they, in America they say, motor mouth, right? So, of course, but the thing is, silence also ultimately means we're not interested in mundane affairs. But of course the devotee is not a fool. He wants to know what the political situation is. If I'm going to this country, I don't want to go there when there's rioting and they're killing everyone in the street. You should know something to do with the world. But, and Prabhupada also, he was learned in that. And also in the Chatur Sloki, in the Bhagavatam it says, one interested in the absolute truth should search it out directly and indirectly. So that means directly he should be, that's the prime concern. Just like we see the children playing in the grass here. What are they doing? They're learning about this world, how to interact with others. They're learning their physical capabilities. Their minds are growing, maturing. So spiritual life means to grow into the spiritual world. You understand? We're like children now. We're trying to understand the Leela of Gaurnitai, the Leela of Radha Krishna, what is Vaikuntha Loka, what are the planets there. We're trying to grow into that world through Shastra, through Sadhu Sangha, through hearing from the realized souls. So that's directly, but also indirectly, because Krishna is within the material energy. So we look at the material energy and we see, according to the Vedic prescriptions, this is all the interactions of karma and desire, the bound living entities. We understand why this is happening in this country. We look at, the glory that was Rome, Greek Empire, the British Empire, they all up and down. Why? Because they're not in harmony with the laws of karma. They crash, they go up, they come up and down. So indirectly we see the absolute truth as the supreme controller of all events. But the main thing is to realize the absolute truth in pure transcendence. Therefore the Bhagavatam is particularly constructed. Puranaka Dunodita, Krishna Swadharma Pagate Jnana Dibisaha, Kalonasta Drisamesha, Puranaka Dunodita. That in Kali Yuga people have lost their vision, because this is the age of Rakshasas and atheists and demons. They're controlling the world, they're not educating people properly, they're exporting the populace. So Puranaka Nasta, people have lost their vision. So they will get vision from the Bhagavatam, not only of how to run the material affairs, how to construct Varnashram in a working situation, but also they'll get vision of the transcendental abode. That's particularly there, step by step. We're going to the 10th canto. That is the vision of the Leela of Krishna in his most intimate aspect. So this is very important. to understand that. So this should be our accent. Monam means that. And whatever realizations we have, we should, in suitable situations, give it to people. What is that verse? Yad karosi. No. Wherever you go, slips my mind. No. Wherever you go, whoever you meet. Yeah, yari dari tahe kare Krishna upadesha karo. Yeah, also in the Bhagavad-Gita, Chaitanya Bhagavata, it says 3 things for the behavior of a devotee. Bhajo Krishna, worship Krishna, bolo Krishna, chant the name of Krishna, and Krishna upadesha karo. Teach people and follow yourself the upadesh, the instructions of Krishna. So that is Mona. So you may withdraw the mind through Maun Vrat, and that is Smaranam. We see at Prahlad Maharaj, he's the exemplar of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. When Hiranyakashipu was trying to kill him, he just fixed his mind upon the Supreme Lord. I'm your servant. Whatever you do with me, it is all your will. So Nrsingadev protected him. So that is Monam. And we also have another example with Draupadi, right? She was being in the vicious assembly. The attempt was to disrobe her. I think it was Sukuni. Huh? No, the one pulling the cloth. Huh? Dushasan, one of the brothers. Terrible fellow. Yes. So that because of that is considered, many great sages have written, that this is the axiomatic destruction of the Kauravas, because they offended Draupadi, and she just called out, "Hey Govinda, hey Govinda." So, of course, it's explained at the beginning she was trying to resist, but this is a big filthy Kshatriya, so she just threw up her arms, and Krishna supplied unlimited cloth. So, reliance on the Supreme Lord, meditation on the Supreme Lord, it will be broken if we talk too much about mundane politics. So this is Maunam. We should daily study Bhagavatam, Gita, all the great Shastras, and then it will be on the tip of our tongue when we meet with the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Atma Vinigraha. Self-control. Yes, and this is what tapasya. Tapasya, Prabhupada many times, and of course it's a dictionary definition, tapasya means voluntary control of the senses. It means to exert the will. There are 3 actions of the mind: thinking, feeling, willing. Thinking means we conceptualize something, then we consider it, feeling, and then we will. Sankalpa, nikalpa. We decide, yes, I'll do that, or I won't do this. These are 3. And they rest upon the first 3 personalities of the Chaturvyuha, and then action. So therefore, austerity means to exert the will. So on what standard should we exert the will in an austere manner? It means that we, according to the instructions of the spiritual master, Guru Krishna Prasadi Bhai Bhakti Lata Bij, the spiritual master has given us the 25 elements of spiritual life. You may have heard 25 elements of the material energy, but there are 25 elements that Prabhupada has given. The first one is 16. What is that? 16 rounds, minimum. And then there are 4 more elements he's given. Yes, so there's 20. And those that have got mantra initiation, 3 Gayatris. That's 23. Of course, we can chant more than 16, and we should always remember that. We should develop our taste for chanting. But 23. What are the other 2? Prabhupada says it here. You should always be thinking of good for others. What are the other two? You should study the Vedas and then teach them. Yes. You should become absorbed in the Shastric conclusion, Siddhanta, what is Sambandha, what is Abhideya, what is Prayojan, what is the relationships, what is the practice of bhakti, what is the goal of bhakti necessity, and then you should teach that. 16, 4, 3 and 2. 25 elements. But you can increase that unlimitedly. You can chant 3 lakhs, but don't forget the 4 regulative principles and chant your Gayatris. I even once read in the Manu Sumita, is not exactly applicable to the Vaishnavas, but there is said to be a place for those who are initiated into the Gayatri mantras and yet do not chant them. There's supposed to be some narak, because you're being given these things, but then you just think, I'll do it later, or something like that, and then you don't do it at all. So of course you may forget, but you should take every instruction of the spiritual master very carefully, and that becomes the guide to how to decide. Sankalp, Nikalp. Yes, I'll do this. No, I won't. So that is austerity, to voluntarily exert your will over the circumstances within which you find yourself. So that is the skill of the yogi. Self-control, right, of one's nature. Purification of one's existence. And then, yes, so Prabhupada explained that, right? That means one should be straightforward in his dealings. You can see how they're interrelated. And thereby purify his existence. And then at the end there, purification, austerities of the mind. So these have great potencies. There's no doubt about it. And I was thinking on the motorbike, yes, there's a verse in the Brahma Samhita that explains this. So this explains the real Vedic worldview. Now the atheists think that it's just all a bunch of chemicals and physics and everything is interacting. But there are certain potencies invested in austerity. Everybody knows. Even the materialist. There was one in the 30s, he wrote Napoleon Hill, I believe. And he wrote on the benefits of celibacy. He explained that if you perform celibacy, you'll have more drive, your mind will work better, and you can get ahead. But that's in the material world. But anyway, there's definitely potencies, and this is explained by Lord Brahma when he realized Krishna and composed the Brahma Samhita. Dharmo tapapa nityasrutayasta pamsi brahmadikita pratagava dayasta jivaha yadatra matra prabhava prakata prabhava govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda. Primeval means original, the source. Just like Bhagavatam, Janmadiyashyata, that from which everything has emanated, by whose conferred power. So he is conferred, that means he has invested or maintained the manifested potencies that are found to exist in all virtues, all vices, the Vedas, the penances, and all jivas, from Brahma to the meanest insect. So Krishna has constructed this world not just from the external gross energy, but this energy, there are subtle energies that are invested, conferred upon tapasya, and therefore we're performing tapasya, especially on Ekadashi. We're performing tapasya, offering lamps. We're performing tapasya when we chant Hare Krishna mantra, when we act in a simple, straightforward way, when we control our tongue and not become overeating and so on. So there is potency in this. Now this is important because if we understand this consciously, it will inspire us. It will inspire us. It is not just a botheration, but it will confer a realization and bhakti upon us. We should understand that. Just like later on in the Brahma Samhita, there's one verse, Pramanas chad acharas tadabhyasa nirantaram bodhayan atma atmanam bhaktim apiyuttamam labet. So Krishna is telling Lord Brahma, that's in the 5 slokas at the end, he's saying that the highest devotion is attained by the constant endeavor for self-realization with the help of theistic conduct, perseverance in practice. Let me just have a quick look. The highest devotion is attained by slow degrees by the method of constant endeavor for self-realization with the help of scriptural evidence, yes, theistic conduct and perseverance in practice. So these things, scriptural evidence, studying the Shastra, pramana, sambandha gyan, in fact all knowledge is based on Veda pramana. It's the first of the Dasha Mula. Pramana means that which is evidence for that which is to be proved. That's called prameya. So the pramana is the Vedas. So if you study the Vedas, scriptural evidence, and then theistic conduct, follow these tapasya, and persevere with it, then the highest devotion is attained by slow degrees, bit by bit. So you should understand that process, and then you will be inspired to follow that process. You understand? Never mind if you have some trouble, just get back on the bicycle and start pedaling. Just like I was in Scotland two years ago getting a visa. And they have, I was very interested to see, Route Master. You want to go to 15 College Drive. You punch it into the Route Master and it will tell you as you go down, turn left, then third on your right, go round the roundabout, and 100 yards, 15 College Drive is there. But if you miss the turning, then it will simply give new instructions how to get to the destination. So that is like Krishna within the heart. Even if you have a problem with your austerities, you fall off the bicycle or you miss the turn off, what the route master was saying, then Krishna will give you new instructions from the point at which you listen. You see the point? He's not going to, the route master doesn't say, oh, you missed the turning, I'm on strike. No, he recalculates what's necessary and tells you how to get to your destination. But that shouldn't be taken as an excuse to, slip away from good practice. But we always have problems because we're not perfected souls, at least myself. So we should also think, oh, never mind, Krishna's my father. Lord Brahma, when he made that offense, stole the cowherd boys and the cows and so on, and Krishna appeared, Gopal appeared. So he said to Krishna, please, you're my father. And just like the father and the mother, they don't take offense at the offenses of the children. They just, so please don't take offense at my behavior. It's just my foolishness. So that is repentance, that is remorse, yes, but at the same time we should be confident that Krishna, He's the Supreme Father, and Srimati Radharani is the mother of the devotees. Brahma Samhita purport, Jiva Goswami explains that the Jiva manifests as the halo of Srimati Radharani. So father and mother, they want the child to take the correct route. But if we have a problem, we can't perform austerity perfectly, then we should just reapply ourselves with renewed perseverance in practice. Because sincerity is the key, ultimately. If we're sincere, then Krishna within the heart, the Vaishnavas, everything will be arranged like the route master. We should be sincere in trying to attain bhava and prem. Just like that story is very instructive. Given by, in the Bhagavatam, Dhruva Maharaj. Right? We don't want to pray to Krishna for a big palace and a this and a that. We should have the maintained idea. If I can get some prem, some bhava, then my service will be more pleasing to the spiritual master, more pleasing to Krishna and his great devotees. So we don't even want prem and bhava for our own enjoyment, but because we can serve better in that manner. Right? So this is the conception we must maintain. And this is the methodology. By voluntary control, disciplining our attachments to the material world, getting rid of them. That is tapo divyam. If you remember in Ramananda Roy's conversation with Lord Chaitanya, he gave so many things. Then he said, guna karma vibhagasha, that varnashram is a way. Lord Chaitanya said, that's external. And then what did he say? Ramananda Roy. Yad karosi yadadnasi yogstadadosi dadasi yad tad karosi varapadam. That whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, that should be done as an offering to me. So that's tapasya. Yet whatever that is tapo divyam. You see, just like it says in the Brahma Samhita, there is a certain potency in tapasya. But we don't want to perform tapasya like Hiranyakashipu. He went to Mandara Hill, right, and he was doing severe austerity. Krishna in the Gita actually says, those that perform these austerities, they torture the super soul within, and they're to be known as demons. So he's not doing tapo divyam. He's doing it for his own benefit. So yad karoti yad, we want to do our austerities as an offering to the spiritual master, as an offering to Krishna. And we don't want to torture the body, but we do them in the sphere of Krishna consciousness, under the direction of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. And we do it in the mentality as an offering, just like we cook. And that we don't think, oh, I'm going to enjoy this. We think, oh, it'll be very nice if I put a little more chili in, and then it'll be tasty for Krishna. So we can consider the taste, but for Krishna. So that is tapo divyam. We perform all these austerities. Niyamagraha means not following, but also following rules and regulations without knowing the purpose behind them. Right? They're very important. So that's another point, tapo divyam. That is also mentioned, excuse me, by Lord Rishabdev when he's Shaktivesh avatar. Yes. First verse, 5th canto, 5th chapter. And Rishabdev, he was going to renounce the big kingdom. So that's a very interesting point. What's the difference between Yudhisthira Maharaj and Duryodhana? Well, Yudhisthira took the post as king as a service to Krishna. But nowadays we have so many Hiranyakashipus. They want to be in the government post to exploit the people. Not everyone, there's some decent people, no doubt. But that mood is there, that they are performing all these austerities and penances to become big people so that they can fill the pockets and exploit the people. But so that is not the purpose of austerity. Tapo divyam means you perform all your activities as an offering to Krishna. So that's what Rishabdev tells his 100 sons. At the end of this chapter he says, you should not be envious, but you should take shelter of Bharat. Bharat became Chad Bharat, you know the story, right? In his next life he fell in love with a deer. When he was a deer became dear to him. So he was instructing the world actually. But so the beginning of these instructions, Rishabdev explains. I'll chant the Sanskrit because that's good. And you see, because the Sanskrit, being directly the Bhagavatam, has a conferred potency, right? Rishaba uvacha nayam deho deha bhajam ninoke kastan karmam aharte vidbojam ye tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam sudyeta yasmat brahma sokyam swanantam. Lord Rishabdev, this is the first verse, of course, in his instructions to his sons before he left for the forest to perform austerities. Lord Rishabdev told his sons, my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. Right? So Rishabdev saying, you see the message? I'll also add the next shloka. Mahat sevam dwaram ahor vimuktes tamodhoram yosita sangi sangam mahantas te sama chita prashanta vinmayava surit sadhavo ye. So, having understood that the process is to restrain the senses voluntarily, tapasya, and these restrictions, one can attain the path of liberation, from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees, Brahmavadis, not Mayavadis. Whether one wants to merge into the Lord's existence or wants to associate with the personality of Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoised. They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful and are fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in any abominable way. Such people are known as Mahatmas. So, perfect gentlemen. So, rendering service to the great acharyas and understanding that the path is austerity. And what is the most important austerity? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. So there's that song by Narottam Das. Kevalananda Kanda. Oh Lord Chaitanya, you've brought a process that's simply joyful. So if we follow regulative principles, we act for the benefit, we learn the Shastra, so we learn Siddhanta nicely, and we distribute that Siddhanta, then we will attain eternal blissful life. So we should know the method, we should understand the goal, and we should offer all these things to the great Mahatmas. All the great acharyas, the 6 Goswamis, Lord Chaitanya of course, Madhavendra Puri. We offer all our endeavors to the great acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta, and if we have a problem because of immaturity, we don't worry. We get it back on the bicycle, listen to the route master again, and we will find that we attain Swarup Siddhi, we attain our spiritual nature, we attain the transcendental life eternally. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So any question?
In 17:15 describe that the truth should be speak without agitating the mind for the others. So
Non-agitating.
So if you want to speak the truth and you know that it's going to be agitated the mind, so you choose to say the truth.
Well, of course, these are general principles. But if you speak the truth to a demon, you might end up in big trouble. So you have to apply knowledge properly. That's called wisdom. Proper application of knowledge and intelligence. So the circumstances, they will also have to be taken into account. So, therefore, on that point, the Madhyamadikari, he's explained to act in 4 ways. He worships the Supreme Lord and the Transcendental Personalities. He makes friendship with the general body of devotees. He gives mercy to the Balisha, those that are innocent in ignorance of spiritual principles and spiritual knowledge. And Upeksha, he's neutral to the determinedly demoniac and atheistic. He doesn't hate them, but he's neutral. You understand? He doesn't become emotionally disturbed by their behavior, nor does he want to agitate them unnecessarily, because that is not good for them, ultimately. So that is wisdom. So those 4 principles are important. They can guide you on how to apply this knowledge. If somebody is willing to hear, and intelligent, and receptive, then give what you have, because that will increase your realization. Just like if you teach music, then your understanding of music increases, right? A doctor treats his patients and he understands medicine more as he sees the result. So if you want to increase your realization, you distribute your realizations. But it should be to the right person, not agitating. If you go up to, some central banker and say, "You're a Rakshasa," stealing all the money of the people, then what is the use? Better to go to him and say, "Oh, you're a great man. Why not chant Hare Krishna and build 1,000,000 temples for us?" Or something like that. So you have, actually, Chanika Pandit, he says like that. For the Brahmana, you convince the Brahmana, this is like duplicity but tactfulness. You convince the Brahmana by Shastric evidence, logic and argument, the intelligent class, if you want to convey some idea. For the Kshatriya, you say, look, if you do this, you'll be glorified, you'll have your name in a plaque, you'll be a great man, so build a temple. Oh yeah, that's right. So, and then for the Vaishya type, Krishi Gorak, you say you'll get a lot of profit if you do this. If you give a donation to Krishna in the future, your business will boom like anything. So this is not exactly duplicity because it's truthfulness. And then for the Sudra, you show him that it's not to his benefit to disobey. Actually, Chanika Pandit says, you show the rod, I'm the boss, you better do what you're told, or else your job's finished. So, these are things of how to apply knowledge. But at the same time, we don't want to be duplicitous, you understand? But we want to be wise and intelligent. And the goal, as Prabhupada says here, wonderful way he starts, to make the mind detach it from sense gratification. It should be so trained that it's always thinking of doing good for others. So, what's that? Para upakara, right? The Vaishnav, he's always thinking, people are sunk in the material world, let us give them some sukriti, let it give them some start in bhakti. That will save them. So, if you have that intention in your heart, then Krishna will guide you. Any other question? Okay, the test is here now. Teacher is angry if you don't. But teacher can look at the book. Austerity of the bodies, remember we said 2 divisions. What are the 2 divisions? Worship of personalities. What was the first one? Supreme Lord. Then Brahmanas, then spiritual masters, and then superiors. Well, look, see, the women have got better memory in Kali Yuga than the men. Anyway, and then simplicity, non-violence was there. Huh? Cleanliness, yes.
Celibacy, non-violence.
Yes, celibacy is there, yeah. 4 things for the body. Cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. Celibacy, simplicity, non-violence, cleanliness. Mix them up like a good khichdi. So, austerity of speech. Truthfulness. Our second one is pleasing, beneficial, non-agitating, speaking the Vedas. Wow, very good teacher, very good students. The men know, but they're too shy. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Of the mind, today's. I can't get no satisfaction. Satisfaction, simplicity again, gravity, monya, self-control, pure. I will say those 5 again because it's today's. First one is, See, I've got the women, I've got the men going now. Bit of ego coming out. Satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, purification of existence. Yeah. So when you get time, commit them to memory. You know, that is also bhajan. One who studies this conversation worships me with their intelligence. So, and always remember that there is, as Lord Brahma said, head of our Sapraya. I mean, Krishna said to, yes, Lord Brahma, that there are potencies in these things. There are potencies in these things. So, similarly, if we do the opposite, we will lose potency. We will like be driving with the brake on. But if you can't remember anything, just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then you are remembering everything, because Krishna is the source of everything and himself. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada Sadhu Sangha Ki Jai.